Hello everyone, my name is Alma. Today I will tell you the structured text of a fairy tale story titled Cinderella. Cinderella is a fairy tale narrative text. Narrative text is a story with complication or problematic events, and it tries to find the resolutions to solve the problems. An important part of narrative text is the narrative mode, the set of methods used to communicate the narrative through a process narration. There are many kinds of narrative text, such as myth, fable, fairy tale, and so on. Meanwhile, fairy tale story is a children's story about magical and imaginary beings and lands. Cinderella. Orientation. Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Cinderella. She lived with her stepmother and two stepsisters. The stepmother and her two daughters didn't like Cinderella. They treated Cinderella very bad. Cinderella usually did the hardest works in the house, such as scrubbing the floor, cleaning the pot and pan, and preparing the food for the family, and so on. Complication. One day, a ball was to be held by the royal family of the kingdom to find the prince's spouse. Cinderella wanted to go to the ball, but her stepmother asked her to stay at home and do the houseworks. Cinderella cried. Then there was a fairy godmother standing beside her. "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" the fairy godmother asked. "Because I want to go to the ball, but my stepmother insists me to stay at home. Besides, I don't have any beautiful dress," said Cinderella. Then the fairy turned Cinderella's ugly dress became the most beautiful dress, and with beautiful slippers. The fairy also turned a pumpkin into a parking coach, and the mice became 6 white horses. Cinderella finally could go to the ball, but she had to come back before midnight before the spell ended. At the ball, Cinderella amazed everybody there, including the prince. The prince asked her to dance. Cinderella had a wonderful time at the ball, but all of a sudden she heard the sound of a clock, the first stroke of midnight. Remembered what the fairy had said, Cinderella ran back to go home, but she lost one of her slippers in ballroom. The prince picked up her slipper and would search for the girl whose foot fitted with the slipper. A few days later, the prince proclaimed that he would marry the girl whose feet fitted the slipper. Her stepsisters tried on the slipper, but it was too small for them, no matter how hard they squeezed their toes into it. In the end, the king's soldier let Cinderella try on the slipper. She stuck out her foot, and the page slipped the slipper on. It fitted perfectly. Resolution. Finally, she was driven to the palace. The prince was overjoyed to see her again. They were married and lived happily ever after. So that is it, the structured text of Cinderella. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!